So, you guys who know me, I'm assuming that my audience is people who come back, and some of you have been hanging out for years. You know my status: average, retail worker, no education, just a high school graduate, very average lifestyle. There is something that I sincerely don't understand, and I want to ask it here more as a way to open up the conversation to hopefully inspire myself to research this on my own. But I usually like to hear a human opinion addressing this with me in a conversation so that you could say that seed is planted of preliminary information, and that is the information that I need to help me breed knowledge in a topic. For instance, if I'm about to read a book, I will give it like a little bit of a skim. Back in the days when I used to read a book, I remember I used to skim it, take some general notes of the things that I saw just jump at me during my skim, and then I will do a more detailed, slowed down reading to absorb what I'm reading kind of read through. When it comes to me learning about a topic or asking a question, I'm no different. I will do my preliminary research, which is I observe something, I will ask a reference I may have who I think could have the information. And even if they don't have the information, I'll be like, have you ever considered this, and this? Because I was thinking about how I don't know about this, and that. And usually, if they say they don't know, they can give me a good reference to where I should begin to look. Something like that. Well, with this topic, you guys know that I definitely don't like to dwell in topics like this. I sincerely, genuinely don't like this topic because it's political to me. And that is the subject of jobs and companies and education and skill sets and competition and capitalism and free market economies and all that shit that I just sincerely feel like it's to keep you tired and confused so that you just keep spinning around in this hamster wheel and getting nowhere, honestly, depending on your status and what you have inherited or not. But the question I want to ask is, how exactly is it beneficial for me when new jobs are created? Like, I will sometimes hear about these reports that some company is going to have their headquarters over here and it's going to create, I don't know, 50,000 jobs. What are those 50,000 jobs? What kind of education do you need? Why should I work for this company? All those little things. So when I see these job reports as an average person without a degree, just a high school graduate, and I don't have the option of going to school in a viable way, what does it mean for me for a job to be added? Especially if there are some companies that opt for doing on the job training, which I think is the smartest thing to do. Don't force me to anchor myself to a degree if maybe that degree is not relevant to the position I'm applying for just to get my foot in the door. But I also wonder about why isn't it just universal for you to get on the job training for things that you don't necessarily need to be specialized in. Like if you're going to have heavy machinery, sure, go to a school where you learn about the proper technique for this, the regulations, the licenses that you're going to need, and how to make the environment a safe one, all those little things. If you're going to be crafting something, like say you need to actually measure the size of a window, measure the size of a room because you're going to design a place or design a furniture to come in here, sure, I can understand why you would need to take like one of those shop classes or whatever, where you're actually being taught technique and the mathematics associated with that. And you got to put it into practice. You have materials to practice with, and not, oh, you're going to get hired for the first time for this big project and you don't really have the experience of practicing this in a controlled setting with an instructor, nothing like that. I understand the circumstances where the path of school is beneficial. And another one of my favorite examples would be being a pilot. Like, please, I would like my pilot to have gone to flight school. And it seems like that's a prerequisite anyway. But see what I mean? Outside of that, outside of those kinds of school paths for you to specialize on a skill, how is it that posting about how there's this company opening up this factory, whatever, and that's going to create 50,000 jobs, how is that going to help me? Are they going to be paying more than $15 an hour? Are you going to be salaried? And if you're salaried, is it better than being paid by the hour? Because sometimes I feel like being a salaried employee is more about the prestige that comes with it more than the actual pay and benefits. Because sometimes I feel like salaried employees ultimately get paid less, but they have to do more because you're on call. You have to show up at random times of the day. You may have to stay extra, and you're not exactly compensated for that on the spot, unlike being an hourly worker where by the hour you have the opportunity of crossing into overtime. What is the point of being a salaried employee? Come to think of it, I sincerely couldn't tell you. But there are some companies that I guess they have a special kind of benefits package for salaried employees, I would imagine. I've never been salaried, so I couldn't even tell you. But those little details, that's what I'm saying. I cannot be excited about there being job openings if it doesn't seem like it's a job that I would be able to pursue anyway. Is it going to be one of those back of the house computer jobs? What does data entry look like? Am I going to be plotting information into an AI? Am I just like a messenger kind of person? What is it that email can't achieve in this situation? Just what does it mean to have 50,000 jobs or whatever the number of jobs opening is? What does it actually mean to the average worker? Because sometimes I feel like those jobs that are opening up, it's more for, I guess, justifying their presence. Like the community may not even be excited about you opening up, but we'll try to pretend to be hospitable. But ultimately, it doesn't really mean anything to those of us who are already here. And sometimes I feel like it's just doing something to make it attractive to people who are looking for work and to make their numbers look good. Like, look, we're a new company, or we have a new facility here and we're booming. This is what we're bringing to the community, opportunities for employment. But again, what does it do for me individually if this job opportunity is not one that includes the potential for growth in a way that's not invasive? For instance, when you're pursuing growth at a job or at a company, that means that you have to exchange it for your personal life. And not everybody is about the grind like that. Some people can do it, and some people have people who support them to do that. But realistically, this is not a sustainable practice because you're a human being with finite energy and with a body that's pretty delicate in the grand scheme of things. So realistically, it's not like you can just anchor yourself to that and have it happen permanently and not expect to suffer consequences outside of the job. So are you bringing full-time positions? Are you bringing part-time positions? And those full-time positions, what does the balance look like between your personal life and the work life? Am I going to really have a life? Is full-time 12 hours? Is it just a sweet 8 hours? 8 hours of what? Is it just 8 hours of a place where, I don't know, you have your lunch paid? You have food supplied, just anything at all. What does it mean for there to be 50,000 job openings? Or in the case of the 22,000 jobs that were listed for, I think, last month or something, and how that's actually bad because it shows that it didn't meet the projection of the ratio of like the number of unemployed people versus the number of jobs that are available, and it seems like there's more unemployed people looking for work but not enough jobs for these people to occupy. Post recording Zem here. I think the most important question I meant to attach to this is, let's say there aren't enough people in the community living here immediately that are able to respond to those job openings? What if it's more people from the outside, like another state, multiple states away, or maybe someone from another town, but they're going to transfer over here? That is one of the reasons why I can't be excited about job openings, because I only see the problem that's going to bring. Like, residents in here, we are already struggling with things like housing, inflation, and now you're going to have this influx of people who may be qualified for these jobs. They obtained their qualifications outside of this area. They're going to be the ones to occupy these positions when they are needy people in our community. But then they're going to move here and bring their potentially big city paychecks to this area. And now we're going to restructure our area, which I'm observing a lot of here in my area. We're going to build all this housing, but then regular folks like us cannot indulge in that, despite us being residents of this place for forever. But then these other people get catered to just because they can occupy a job. That's why I can't be excited about job openings. What does it actually mean to bring all those jobs over here for the people in here who cannot indulge in those opportunities? What do we do then? Join one of those freelance apps like driving for DoorDash, or see what I mean? This is the part that confuses me. Like, I want to be excited about those general reports of job opportunities, but what kind of jobs are they if they're not because of the launch of a new company or a facility that's opening up around here? Is it mostly retail? Is it mostly computer driven? Is it remote work, which a lot of folks, a lot of companies are eliminating, whatever? What does it mean for there to be job openings? Like, that set of news literally never excites me. I think it excites me from the perspective of maybe it means that the people who are desperate for work have the chance to find work now. But what if this is a job that they can't be considered for because they don't have the education to back them up to apply for this job? That is my concern. Like, anytime job listings come about and they're reported, should we all universally be excited about that? Or should we be like, another round of news that I can't do anything with or anything about? Or moving to that, if I'm experienced, say, in the retail sector, and then I'm trying to take my skills to a non-retail sector, what does that look like? What is my pay going to look like? What are my qualifications going to look like? Because maybe I can perform the acts that the job description expresses, but maybe I can't tell you that my skills can transfer as well to a different industry. Like, for instance, I like to think of cars versus retail, like the automotive industry versus retail that's like at a regular retail store, like your Walmarts and stuff. Just because I'm good at selling things in retail, like I can give people descriptions of the items I have tried and that type of thing, and I can upsell in that way, I don't think I'm qualified to upsell a vehicle. Like, I don't think I have the vehicle car salesman skill set. I'm sure I can persuade people to buy Corollas, especially the Corolla I drive, but I don't think that is something that I can do every single day and be as successful as a job in which I don't depend on a commission. I can just show up to the job, sell the stuff that is already pre-marked to be sold, and all I gotta do is scan it, make sure that there's no conflict with the price, and if there is, fix it. And that's about it, really. Just because I have experience with sales, it doesn't mean I can go anywhere and sell something. That is my question. So why is it exciting news whenever there are job openings? What does it actually mean for there to be job openings for people on average like me? And so, anyways, you guys, this was totally aimless. It's just one of those questions that I have always wanted to ask, but I'm really not sure how to go about researching this. So I wanted to throw it here. And maybe you guys can give me the idea of how to do this, because I just don't think about it, since I know that retail is what's most proper for me to be in. But sometimes I try to imagine being invested in this subject. And honestly, I don't see it. I don't get it. And the more time that passes, the more alienated I guess I become from it. Is this good news for college grads, for older people having to come out of retirement, for people who are job hopping? What does it mean in the grand scheme of things? Okay, that's it. Bye.